For 70 years, the sun has risen over the Common Grace Triangle on the east side of Madison, Wisconsin. In 1954, Lakeview Moravian Community Church was built by the Right Reverend Milo Lopnow. Not only did Milo start a thriving church congregation, but he planted roots in a community across the street from schools and at the center of the Eastmoreland neighborhood. Milo was a great believer in ecumenical work and partnered with area churches of all denominations to work on community projects, like starting senior living apartments when none existed on the East Side in the 1970s. In 2016, two dying congregations that now make up Common Grace, Lakeview Moravian and Zion Lutheran, started working together with 6 other churches on community projects. Few of these churches could afford their buildings, and each year, these congregations were losing more members. Each of the buildings were underutilized space for most of each week.
In that group of congregations, over these next 4 years, weekend food programs for 3 schools were started. We held a passport fair for neighbors in fear of deportation of their children. We started an annual music festival to raise money for those weekend food programs. We partnered with the Red Cross to start more area blood drives and did community advocacy to get out the vote in elections. The cost of our buildings were keeping most of our congregations from doing any kind of ministry that we saw was truly needed in our neighborhoods. In 2021, Lakeview Moravian and Zion Lutheran decided to become Common Grace. One worshiping community, one property, one budget, all working together in 2 denominations. We have a unified board. We have one budget. We co-owned property. We also have a common vision and community ministry, all in that same year after Zion sold her building and moved out to the Lakeview property. A nonprofit organization called Eastmoreland Community Center was then started.
The church is now sharing all that it has to give with the community. Within the next 2 years, we will build a new community center and workforce development housing on this triangle. The housing will help sustain the work of the community center, and the church congregation will worship and live within a space fully shared by our neighbors. In this sharing, Common Grace is no longer dying, but has begun to thrive.